Problem with the higher DPI. Ah, but try to get the most benefit out of that one. Fine microcontrol, but I'm still up in the 92 percentile for my personal best. 397 out of 5600 entries. I'll take it. Take it. .5. Bad, but the back up. A personal best. Not too bad, but I try not to guess when it's gonna be reactive. My best is 79.56 at that, above 85%. 85. Haven't done this one on faster DPI. Realize, hold on. Their game. Realize that I have game. What in capture? Yeah, we'll capture. Oh, there's been no audio this whole time. I'm a genius. All right, well, let's do this then. Harder on 32. What up, AP? Yeah, I have to. I have to. Yo, I saw your missed call this morning, by the way. I didn't even see when you called me yesterday. So, um, if it's something you need, I guess call me again. I literally didn't see a missed call till this morning, so I don't know if it was urgent or not. So I apologize for that. But yeah, I gotta tune my hacks. I've had enough. I've had enough. I've had enough. If half the World Series of Warzone qualifiers could use hacks, and I can too. That's all I'm gonna say. I don't want to be left out. I haven't done this one in 3200. This is taking every bit of control from my wrist right now. He said. Trick is to not guess. It's to be reactive. That's like the trick to aim training. Try not to guess where it's gonna go, but react. Basically, that's the only thing that's gonna help you in game is being reactive. Sure, you can guess sometimes, but you don't know where someone's gonna move. You need to react. Yeah, more or less. When I'm playing COD, this is why I aim train. Like, contrary to whatever I may have said in the past or whatever anybody else says, I literally aim train in fast movement scenarios because that's what it feels like in COD. So with no aim assist, it's all me just like trying to react to whatever the hell is happening on screen. Um, I don't. It doesn't bother me, obviously, because I choose to play on mouse. Um, but I guess it doesn't bother me because I practice, right? If you don't practice, I can see why you would be pissed at not having aim assist. But I practice, so. And unlike Halliburton, I can't tear my Achilles out here. Plus, I already did that, so I've been there, done that. Let me. That's why I do. As a matter of fact, I should go to my playlist because my playlist I have it kind of catered to more FPS shooters like COD and finals and things like that. It's all like strafe stuff. It's all like strafe scenarios. This ain't even the best one, to be honest. To be honest, the best strafe scenario is this one. I literally have a little routine. I have a specific routine playlist that I designed for COD. Let me see. Let me. Can't really see the letters are still, but um, yeah, most of them are like that though. You could see when he hyperextended when he went to push off. It's such an angle that he's on that it's gonna get you 9 times out of 10. Plus, he was already battling a calf strain, which your Achilles is your calf. They're not two separate things, right? Your Achilles is the tendon that becomes your calf. So if you have a calf strain and you're trying to play through that, you're basically just putting all the pressure on your Achilles. It's a recipe for disaster. Like I understand it's game 7, but um it's a bad move. Like should he not have played? Yeah, in hindsight, sure. Yeah, he shouldn't have played. Now, a lot of people say, well, he should have because it's game 7, blah blah blah, but it's like an Achilles tear in the last game of the NBA Finals automatically means you're screwed up for the whole like first half of the next season. So now you give your team less of a chance next year than if you would have just sat out game 7. You see what I'm saying? It's almost like you got to weigh the lesser of two evils. You know, like, and that's just my opinion. Obviously, from a competitive perspective, people are gonna say, no, no, he had to play. Um, but I'm already thinking about next season. Like now he's gonna be gone for a minimum half the next season, minimum. But yeah, that was a tough injury. I seen the replay and I was like, I was like, it's kind of rough. And I have PTSD from seeing other people tear their Achilles because I went through that shit. But try this playlist real. This is my official COD playlist because this is the moving. This is the one I've been practicing a lot with, and I would highly recommend this for anyone playing FPS shooters or moving on your screen. As you can see, they bunny hop, they move left and right, they're unpredictable, but you also get to move. So it tests your reactivity. So scenarios like this is why like I'm not nervous to play any FPS regardless of how fast it moves. COD, finals, name it. If you practice, you don't gotta get ready for the game. You're already ready for the game. Enough. The reactivity is ready for the game. Get in the game. You're not caught off guard by any little funny stuff they do. Oh, he's going bunny hop. Oh, there's the bunny hop, right? He's gonna go the other way. Bunny hop. There it is. I'm ready for it. And I just had my best session. No, that's funny. Kovacs does not have drop shot. It's weird. It's like the one movement thing they don't do. It's weird. Like they have everything. You could literally add recoil to aim training. You can add stairs, you can add obstacles, but like drop shot is not something they have in here. But at least you have bunny hops, right? So which is in most FPSs, that's like the thing, right? Because some games you can't drop shot. For example, like in Apex, there's no prone in Apex. So and in finals there's no prone. So it's one of those things where might as might as well practice what's in most games versus what's in not. Jumping is in most games. Prone is not in most games. Yeah, exactly. All done. 20-second timeout. All right, finally off my call. Never get calls at this time of the day unless I have a scheduled meeting. But of course, here we go. Right, I got to get a phone call the moment I'm trying to aim train. Like I could tell this is logs people and shit trying to interrupt me, but I can't be interrupted. Greatness can never be interrupted. Just remember that. Log doesn't know stuff like that. He lets greatness interrupt him. That's why he's not great. Well, as I was saying before my call, I was telling AP, I basically try to do a lot of scenarios for FPS games where people are moving a lot, like scenarios like strafe dodge, because it doesn't make much sense to always be shooting static objects. Very rarely are you going to play FPS games static objects, right? So I'm all about movement all the time, especially if I'm going to play COD, if I'm going to play the finals. People are always and these scenarios also teach you, or rather encourage you, to never stand still. Always shoot strafe, make it a hard target while staying on target. Like this scenario, you see the bar on the low left basically tells you, hey, you need to move, and you can't just move in one direction, because if the bar fills, that's bad too. I love the finals more than COD. I'm gonna be honest with you, I wish COD would make their game on Unreal Engine, because I think the finals is the best test case to prove that you can make COD on a different engine than whatever the the IW engine. Because the finals uses Unreal Engine, and you see the weaponry, it looks and feels just like COD. It looks real, the animations look real, the recoil feels manageable, right? It's not out of control. So it's not a weapon thing. Yeah, exactly, Drink. Which is weird because you use the word immersive, which is exactly what Call of Duty is trying to be. The Call of Duty is trying to be an immersive arcade shooter, but they never get the immersive part right, because if you saw in the recent years, they added too much smoke to their weapons and too much visual recoil. But the problem is those kind of visual effects don't work in an arcade shooter. You're either gonna go full immersive or you're gonna go full arcade. When you try to put something in the middle, you ruin both experiences. You have an arcade shooter where people can't shoot. For example, mouse players. Mouse players have a harder time because of all the smoke and flash in their face. Right? We can't see anything. So you got to pick your poison. And that's why I feel like the finals is a great test case of like, hey, COD, you can make a very visually dynamic game, because the finals is very colorful, but I've never played the finals where I feel like I can't see anyone, right? In Call of Duty, that happens to me almost every game. Someone's shooting me, I literally can't even see where I'm getting shot from. They disappear in the distance. Finals, that's never a thing. I've never played the finals and I can't see someone, or my gun recoil is in my way, or the visual is in my way. Like, no, everything is crystal clear, smooth. So yeah, I love the finals. What Embark did with that game is almost like that should be the example for all other FPS games. Like, here's what you can do. You can make it visually appealing while feeling really good and feeling really immersive. Saying it doesn't have to feel bad. It can still look cartoony. It's weird because the finals looks it's realistic and cartoony at the same time. Yeah, the finals should be the standard. Every game at this point, no excuses, because the finals gives you everything. It gives you cartoony animated stuff while still looking real. It feels good. It's smooth. The engine is smooth. The movement is smooth. The gunplay is smooth. The animations are good. It quite literally is the FPS standard, right? To me, at least. Yeah, like a scenario like this, wouldn't really see it in COD. In COD, when you have high ground, you wouldn't be moving this much. But in the finals, this scenario might help a lot, right? Where you're moving up top, they're moving down at the bottom. especially because in the finals they have like dash abilities and grapple hooks and stuff. And then you always want to be moving because it's every team, every team fighting for themselves. So that's why I use these specific scenarios. There's a method to the madness. Not gonna lie, I'm doing better than ever with this higher sense. Yeah, each company should be creative, but I feel like engine wise, I feel like Unreal Engine gives every company the freedom to be creative because the engine itself is so good that you're almost guaranteed a smooth game, lag free, but it gives everyone who uses it the creativity to be unique. Like I feel like because if you look at the finals, it's Unreal Engine, and then you look at Fortnite, it's also Unreal Engine. But those two games don't feel the same, right? So that's what I mean. Both of those games are extremely unique, and they have their own unique feeling. Same engine though, right? And so that's what I mean. Like Unreal Engine just gives developers such a creativity to say the engine might be the same as these other games, but we have the freedom and liberty to make it unique to our game design. Which like I said, Fortnite did it, Finals did it, and a couple other games have done it. Um, Call of Duty trying to be all, you know, isolated from the world and reality. They created this internal engine, however many years ago, and it's a disaster, right? Because like I feel like the engine is not keeping up with current gaming. Their games always have all these lag issues and these weird broken animation issues, and it's just like it needs a refresh. But they also, because they have yearly releases, they don't have the time to refresh their own engine, and so they're just constantly working on this problematic engine while trying to keep it trying to keep up to date and compete with like Unreal Engine. And so they're having a rough go at it. That's why every game, it doesn't really, nothing really feels fresh with Call of Duty, regardless of like the next game and the next game. Nothing really feels fresh. The engine is just old and saturated. I would partially agree with that because again, I guess that comes down to each company. So the people at Epic who make Fortnite versus Embark who makes the finals, and I know Embark also just made what's that game they just did? Is it, I think it's Arc Raiders, right? That's Embark as well. And if you've seen Arc Raiders or if you got to play the demo, the beta, again, very visually appealing, smooth, unique, and that's also Unreal Engine, right? So, but you're right. You're right. A lot of it comes down to the devs, but a lot of it also comes down to, you know, upper management, corporate decisions, release dates, deadlines. So devs kind of do get pushed into, hey, we got to get this out, and they got to skip, stuff they can do with the engine, stuff they could put in the game. That's why sometimes you have content updates over the seasons because it's stuff that they wanted to do at the beginning, but because of deadlines, they can't get to everything, right? So there's politics involved there as well. It's not all on the devs, but it is also kind of on the devs too. So, but I agree with you. Ah, yes, I'm trying to be reactive. My brain won't let me though. The hardest part of scenarios like this is trying to stop your brain from guessing. Want to just be smooth and reactive, not jittery. Oh, session best. 100% agree. AP. Listen, man. I said it before after playing the finals back in November. Like November, December was the longest I played the finals consistently, and that 2 month time period was probably what woke me up to say, if more players got off the Call of Duty obsession, the dopamine obsession, and played a game like the finals, they would realize that Call of Duty is by default not even a top 3 game. It literally is not even a top 3 game. And I'm talking about play, just like playing the game. Not talking about sales, not talking about any of that, because that's marketing, right? You can market a product well enough to sell. It's like the iPhones. iPhone could be the leader in sales, but you could argue the iPhone is not the best phone, but it sells the most, right? Same thing can be said about Call of Duty. Sells the most. Doesn't mean it's the best game. It's just, but they do things that attract players, which, as we know, it's super fast TTK, super overpowered aim assist. The barrier to entry is so low that it anyone can get on it and play, right? Where other games require you to put a little more time, which is the way gaming should be. You should go on a game and you should have to learn it. You should have to put in time to learn it. Where Call of Duty doesn't do that. Call of Duty would take a random person who's never played COD and makes it so easy for them to make them feel like, I love this game, and they never leave. But that doesn't mean it's a good game, right? Yeah, Rainbow Six and CS. Rainbow Six and CS, they still have some of the biggest tournaments on the planet. Them things are like worldwide. And you have to ask yourself, it's such a simple game with the simplest graphics and the simplest animations, but it has such a diehard following. Like, CS tournaments and Rainbow Six tournaments are literally no joke, right? Literally no joke. And speaking of tournaments and jokes, Call of Duty, the World Series of Warzone, while it might be a new thing, just, only the last 4 years, Call of Duty, the World Series of Warzone, their biggest tournament, is a literal joke compared to any other game. The finals, it does tournaments too. They do $100,000 tournaments all the time. And I want you to think about this. There's so little people playing the finals that it's like the same people are winning this money over and over. And it's such a small pool compared to like COD, right? And you don't hear about like cheating out there. You don't hear about any of that because people don't even want to play that game. And it's crazy when you think about it. Like, yo, it's so easy to just go put in time into another game. You know what I'm saying? And I actually like the finals. I genuinely like the finals. Like I said, I spent 2 months seriously on it. I'll say it to this day. I said it to Log, and I'll say it again now that he's here. My biggest regret was when the finals first released a year and a half ago. My biggest regret, when Locke told me, yo, we should try this game. I tried it one time, and I liked it, but for some reason, I never went back. And I'm sure the reason was because we were heavy into COD at that time. But my biggest regret was not staying on the finals from the beginning because they consistently update their content. They consistently update their game mode. They have mini tournaments every day inside the game. They have a ranked mode. They do the same thing COD and other games do. They have sponsored streamers. They fly them out to do play tests. They give them early access to new seasons and content. They do the same thing all the other companies do. It's just no one plays it. So people see the finals and they think like, oh, there's only 20,000 people there. It's not, the game can't be that good. The game is great. The game is great. I'm telling you, like I watch finals content creators and they say it openly. Call of Duty is a joke to them. Call of Duty is a joke to them. Like, and I don't blame them and I'm telling you as a COD player, like Call of Duty is a joke in gaming. It is. It's a joke. Like you can't take Call of Duty seriously because it's not a serious game. It's the most non-competitive game there is. Fortnite is more competitive than Call of Duty because in Fortnite, The way the gameplay loop is designed, when you think about it, the fact that you got to do manual heals and all that, it makes fights go on longer. Both sides, both people fighting, two enemies fighting, have to be strategic about the way they fight. Unlike in COD, where it's half a millisecond, dead, fight's over. There's no thinking involved. In other games, you have to think, you have to be methodical, you have to actually, even when you somebody and you have the advantage, you still have to like respect the fight. In COD, there's no such thing. There's no respect because everything happens so fast. It's stupid. It's the most non-competitive game there is. Call of Duty is the kids' game compared to Fortnite. That's what's crazy. But trust me, we have to play other game. Yeah, man. And to me, I think the finals is gonna be that game until Battlefield BR drops. I think the finals is gonna be that game. And I'm telling you right now, Call of Duty players, they're gonna play Battlefield for like the first week or two, and they're gonna go back to COD because they did it. They did it with Splitgate. They did it with Valorant. They did it with Rivals, and they're gonna do it with Battlefield. They play for a week or two. They do their sponsored stream, and then they go right back to Call of Duty. They can't help themselves. It's the kids' game. It's easy. The cost of entry in Call of Duty is so low. They can't leave it. They cannot leave it. They can't leave it. But me personally, I I say I'm looking for a reason or an excuse. But to me, the finals is right there. I'll play the finals anytime. I have no problem. And like I said, and if I want a competitive mode, they also have ranked. They also have ranked. So it depends like how much I want to push myself. If I want to just chill and play pubs, they got pubs. If I want to just play a respawn mode, they have TDM. And then if I really want to push the limits and get competitive, they have ranked. They have everything. They have everything COD has. COD has pubs. COD has Resurgence, which is basically like TDM. COD has multiplayer, and COD has ranked. Problem is with COD, you have to battle a cheater every third person. You have people walling, you have people aimbotting, you have people doing both. You know, every player you play seems to have perfect awareness. They know how to pre-aim every corner. That's a fundamental problem, right? Like, that's not competitive. That's not competitive. At least when I play finals and I die to somebody, I know I'm seeing somebody who's skilled. I know I'm seeing somebody who just has more time. And you could tell because as soon as, after every game, they show you the player stats. They'd be like, oh man, this dude got 60,000 kills, right? This dude has 10,000 wins. You could tell that's a person who's been playing the finals religiously every single day since it came out. That's a better player. In COD, you can't see that. In COD, you died to somebody, it doesn't show you, hey, this person has 3,000 wins and 50,000 kills. It doesn't show you anything. So you have no idea who you died to. Oh, because there's a rank there? Yeah, that's just, you just play the game every day and your rank goes up. But it doesn't tell me anything about the substance of the player. It doesn't tell me anything. Or when you die to a brand new account and now you're questioning, is this really a brand new player and they're just good at FPS games? Or is this a brand new account because this is a cheater, right? It starts to make you question everything. You don't get that in other games. You don't get that in other games because in other games, they actually give you that player's lifetime stats. And in Apex, it's the same thing. When you play Apex, at the end of the game, they show you every player card. They show you total wins lifetime, total kills lifetime, total damage lifetime. So you could tell when you die to somebody in Apex, you'd be like, oh shit, this dude has 100,000 kills. He's been playing Apex for the last 7 years nonstop. So you could tell you're playing an experienced player. Call of Duty doesn't give you any of that bullshit. So you're always paranoid in COD. You never know who you died to. There's just so many differences with Call of Duty versus every other game. That's the funny thing. It's not like one game. It's a versus every other game on the market. And when you start to compare every little detail of every game, Call of Duty is always the worst game in every metric. The only thing Call of Duty ever has on every other game is, oh, we sell more copies. But that's it. Like I said, that's a marketing thing. When you're talking about gameplay, everything about Call of Duty is worse than every other game. Weapon balancing, terrible. TTK balancing, terrible. Aim assist balancing, terrible. Visual graphics, terrible. Matchmaking, terrible. You know what I mean? Everything about the gameplay in COD, terrible compared to every other game on the market. There's nothing that can be said. There's literally nothing that can be said. You can never sit there and tell me. And I'm telling you as a COD player. I'm telling you as somebody who plays COD, who has played COD from the very beginning. Call of Duty is not the best game on the market. I play it because I play it, but I'm never gonna die on this hill where COD is not the best FPS game on the market. It's not. It just isn't. Just isn't. Yeah, the desync. And that has to do with the whole SBMM, ping is king. Oh, we gonna lag compensate to make sure everyone in the lobby has an even experience because, you happen to be a 3 KD player, AP, and your lobby has a bunch of 0.5 KD players, so it's not fair to them. If we gave you the perfect sync and they're 0.5 KD players, you're gonna kill them before they even know they're being shot at because you're such a good player. So we're going to give you a little bit of lag compensation to give them a chance to either run away or get some shots back at you, right? Like that's nonsense. That's little kid stuff. Hey, let's hold this little kid's hand. Like, what are we talking about? This is a kid's ride. Why do we have to hold his hand? We're already on the kid's ride. We're not on the adult ride bringing a kid. We're on the kid ride. I got to hold his hand too while we're here? Like, what are we doing? We're literally in the spinning teacups. I got to hold his hand too? What are we doing? And they said it, and this isn't even an assumption. Remember, they said this in the white paper. They tried to do ping and lag compensation to matchmake based on player skills. Remember, these are their words, not mine. When you play other games, that don't happen. I've never played Fortnite, and I'm getting lag because I happen to be better than another player I'm fighting. It's never happened in Apex. It's never happened in the finals. It's never happened in PUBG. It's just skill. You're either good, better, or you're the worst player. And that's it. And then you just get better. And that's it. But Call of Duty can't accept that. Call of Duty wants to do this everyone gets a turn mentality. And it's like, no. I put in the time to become better. The next guy needs to do the same thing. They got to put in the time to become better. But Call of Duty doesn't want to hear that. Call of Duty is like, that other guy is new, so we have to give him a chance to kill you. And it's like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? I was new once. And y'all weren't doing all this. Because when I started playing COD, y'all didn't have ping, y'all didn't have any of this, matchmaking compensation stuff. It really was ping is king. And then it really was whoever was better was going to dominate the lobby. And then the people who were bad just kept playing until they got better. So now that I'm better, now I'm going to get desynced because the next guy isn't as good as me? Like, come on, man. What are we doing? And that's what I'm saying. The barrier of entry to Call of Duty is so low that that's why people will not leave. Like, think about this shit. I don't know if you watched any of the World Series of Warzone qualifiers over this whole weekend. They got cheated on every single game, all Friday, all Saturday, all Sunday. Nobody got off the game. And not a single person from Activision said a word. There wasn't a statement. There wasn't an announcement. There wasn't a, hey, we apologize for the experience. We're sorry you guys had to deal with cheater. Nothing. There wasn't even an official statement. You know why? Because Activision knows no matter what happens in this game, no matter how much they get cheated on, they're never going to leave. They're never going to stop playing. they're going to be right back the next day. And that's exactly what happened. Until these people learn to make a sacrifice and say, yo, we have to collectively not play this game, Activision has no incentive to take serious action. Yeah, that's crazy. Like, you have to adjust your gameplay because you understand how the lobby's gonna manipulate you. It's crazy. Yeah, the one guy, no World Series of Warzone for you, and the other one of the other one was no top 100 for you. And then there was a bunch of stream snipers, there was a bunch of rage hackers. It was crazy. It was crazy. And the fact that there's been no official statement. Yo, it's Tuesday and there's been no official statement from Activision, from Call of Duty. Nothing. That goes to tell you, this company doesn't care. They don't care. They don't care. And the reason they don't care is because of the players. The players will not leave. Players got hacked on all weekend and they were right back on the game on Monday. What does that tell you? What does that tell you? The company's looking at them like, man, these jokers they don't even care, man. They still playing. They just got hacked on for 3 straight days. Play 10 hours a day, getting hacked on. That's 30 hours. I want you to think about that. Imagine playing a game for 30 hours and you got hacked on all 30 hours. When you went to bed, woke up on Monday, did it all over again. As a company, I'm looking at you like, you're an idiot. I'm not going to fix nothing. You're just going to be right back on tomorrow. Like, let's be for real. Let's be for real. As a company, when people say, man, what is Activision going to do? What are they going to... They're not going to do a damn thing because you're still playing the game. I want to see that, AP. I want to see that. Because that's the truth. Like, I'm tired of asking, like, when are they going to fix it? What are they going to do? Are they going to address this? What's going to happen with BO7? I'm tired of asking because nothing's going to happen. We're all going to buy BO7 and we're all going to play it. And the next Warzone's going to drop and everyone's going to play it and everyone's going to get hacked on. And you know what people are going to say? Damn, man, cheaters are back. But you're going to keep playing. You'll keep playing. So as a company, why should Activision try? I mean, don't get me wrong. They're trying to shut down some cheap providers here and there. But they're not, like, actively trying to, like... They're just like, whatever. Oh, here's a shadow ban. Whatever, And then the cheaters just go and get load up one of their 50 accounts that they bought for $30. That's all it is. Because the cheaters, it's funny. You look on YouTube right now, there's so many interviews with content creators talking to cheaters, and the cheaters say it right away. Oh, I buy like 30 accounts at a time. So as soon as one of them gets shadowed or banned, I just log in with the next account. I'm ready. So, okay. So this is what I'm saying. Like, Activision thinks, oh, we're going to shadow ban them for 2 weeks. Bro, they have 30 accounts. They just log off the current banned account, log on to the next account, and do it all over again with the same cheats and the same hacks, the same unlock tools. It's a joke. It's a joke. But as a company, I'm looking at it as a company, and I'm just like, you idiots don't stop playing it. So is your problem. The Call of Duty community is terrified to not play COD. They're terrified. They're terrified. That's why I tell you, every time a new game comes out, they'll play it for a week or two. They'll do the little sponsor stream. And then after 2 weeks, okay, I'm going to go back to COD now. Remember when Rivals came out and everybody was like, oh my God, Rivals. It's so fresh, Rivals. I'm not even thinking about Call of Duty. Exactly 2 weeks later, everybody was back on COD. Right? Yeah, that's what I thought. Remember the Splitgate 2 just dropped. What did everybody say? Oh my God, Splitgate 2. It has a BR. Yeah, this game, the movement on this game is crazy. It didn't even last a week. Everybody's back on COD. Tell me who's playing Splitgate 2 right now. I bet you can't. I bet you can't name 3 people playing Splitgate 2 right now. Hey, ain't nobody playing that shit. Nobody's playing that shit. I'm gonna sit here and pretend like these Call of Duty addicts are gonna play anything else besides Call of Duty. Different, and that's the difference between me and them. I'm not kidding myself. I understand what's really happening here. That's why every time these people talk about COD needs competition, you guys aren't leaving COD, so it doesn't matter if COD gets competition. You're not leaving. You say that shit for clicks and likes. You are never leaving Call of Duty. What are you talking about? COD needs competition. For what? So that you won't play the competition? I can't wait for Battlefield to drop and nobody plays it. I can't wait. Remember X-Defiant? Oh my God, X-Defiant. It feels like classic COD. My God, finally, COD has competition. X-Defiant died. And whose fault was it? The people. Nobody played it. Nobody played X-Defiant. X-Defiant had like 5,000 active players. So whose fault was it that X-Defiant died? The players. Because according to the players, X-Defiant wasn't a bad game. So then why did X-Defiant die? Because everybody went back to COD. Like, don't bullshit me, man. If you want to bullshit yourself, bullshit yourself. But don't bullshit me. The COD community is its own biggest enemy. And good for COD. Because that's why they make billions and billions every year. Because they figured out a formula to get these people hooked. And they won't leave, no matter how bad the game is. Good for Call of Duty. As a business, they're doing exactly what they need to do. It's the same thing Apple does. Apple figured out a way to sell people the same exact iPhone every year at a higher price. And everybody lines up outside the Apple stores to get it. Year after year after year. It's the same exact phone with the same exact features. They charge you an extra $300 from the year before, and everybody's in line to get the newest iPhone. Call of Duty has figured out the same formula. Tell you guys the same exact thing. Tell you it's new. Tell you it's shiny. You guys are going to buy it. You're going to love it. As a company, I can't fault them. I can't fault them because if I was running a company, I'd want to be able to make anywhere from 2 to 4 billion, hand over fist year after year like clockwork. I'd want to do that too. So I don't fault them as a company. I fault the players. This is a player problem. This is a personality problem in the people. Stop playing the game. I'm dead serious. And that's why I never say the whole I never talk about stop buying bundles, stop buying. No, stop playing the game. Stop playing the game. From a marketing perspective, people need to understand from a marketing perspective. Everything has a goal. Game sales, bundle sales, battle pass sales. And I'm gonna speak hypothetical numbers. Let's say battle pass drops. They say, hey, we want to be able to sell at least 20 million battle passes, right? But they're willing to accept that, okay, if we only make 15, that's cool. Anything less than 15 million sales is a problem, right? We didn't hit our target goal. Same thing with the game. They look at annual releases over the game. They study the marketing. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, we want to be able to sell, 50 million copies. And if we can't sell 50 million copies, we'll settle for, 42 million. Anything less than 42 million, it's a problem because we didn't hit our sales targets. And anytime they don't hit their sales targets, they're going to be aggressive with something else. You know what I'm saying? It's just business. You got to look at it. It's a game to us. It's entertainment to us, but it's a business to them. So it's all business at the end of the day. So you got to look at it like that. Everything is measurable. There's a minimum they're willing to accept for sales. I used to use mouse acceleration, Nightwish. And I stopped. And I'll tell you why I stopped. Because every game doesn't feel the same on mouse, right? So whatever sensitivity I use, let's say on Call of Duty, is not the same. Like, even if I translate it 1-to-1 and then I play a game like the finals, it still feels a little off. So I got to tweak it a little bit. And then, so that means every time I got to tweak it and I play different games, it also affects my mouse acceleration settings. And to me, that became too much of a headache personally. Some people don't care, but personally, and I wanted to just develop raw input. I wanted to be able to get on any game and just when I'm moving my mouse, I want to know that my sensitivity is based on my skill. And so that's why I stopped using mouse accelerate. I used to use Custom Curve Pro. It's highly recommended by a lot of people, and it's good. I liked it when I used it. Don't get me wrong. I loved it when I used it, but it became more of a personal training thing. I wanted to work on my actual mouse control myself, so I stopped using it. Yeah, I've heard of linear curve. They work the same. They work the same. So there's really the interface looks different, but they work exactly the same. You can do DPI. Um, you can do like DPI conversion, set your your curve. They work exactly the same. They're just I think two different companies. So it's the same thing. Bot is moving really fast. Not a good session. Yeah, as a matter of fact, Viscose is one of the reasons too. Because Viscose used to use it, and Viscose was like, "Hey, it's good, it works, but it's gonna hold you back because the day you don't have it, you're gonna see your aim is gonna be really, really, really off." And that's exactly what happened, specifically with the slower movements. The fast movements, not so much, but the slower movements, you're gonna instantly see Nightwish. You're gonna have a problem the moment you don't use any of the mouse acceleration. But yeah, Viscose is one of the reasons why like I talked myself out of it. I was like, yeah, I should probably stop. Yeah, AP, let me know. I'm down with whatever. Like I said, like you know me, I'm gonna play COD, but COD be frustrating me. But COD is not the be all end all for me. I don't have to play COD all the time. Like I'm good switching from time to time. And COD just has this weird like I don't even know how to explain it. COD has this weird pressure to win that I just don't get in other games. Cause I play Fortnite off stream and I play solo. Obviously, I don't do builds. I'm not into that stuff. And I lose, and I'm just like, it's whatever, man. Like this isn't even a game that I main, but like I'm just out here to have fun. I've gotten a couple wins out there. A couple lucky wins against some really sweaty players and stuff. That it really just came down to like hitting my shots, right? It's not even like they were bad or nothing. But it is what it is. Like I lose in other games and it's whatever, but then I lose in COD and like I'm just frustrated all the time because in COD you lose to like stupid things, right? Someone sitting in a corner, a mine trap blows you up. Like it's not even like you got shot or you didn't grab a gas mask and that's what you died to. Like it's always something dumb you die to. Like it's not even a skillful thing that's making you lose. It's like these weird randomized elements of the game. Versus another game, like in the finals, no one's camping in the finals. Even in Fortnite, no one's camping in Fortnite. Hey, conspiracy or not, I have clips showing my shots literally not registering on people for no random reason. And so that's why the conspiracies happen, because enough people start to have experiences that just don't make any sense. Now, we were talking earlier about like the engine that Call of Duty uses versus like other games. It's possible that the COD engine is just so bad that shots don't register. But that's a problem too, right? Because when you play a shooting game, you expect your shots to register. So whether it's SBMM or whether it's just the engine is so bad, it's still a problem either way, right? Like that doesn't happen in other games. And so that's why COD is even worse, because you start to question, like, is it SBMM? Is it the algorithm? Or is the game just bad and my shots aren't registering? Right? None of those are good reasons, regardless. None of those are good reasons. But when I play ranked AP, my problem is it's like a short-lived accomplishment, because when I move up in COD ranked, I'm guaranteed I'm gonna play more cheaters. So now it's almost like my accomplishment is setting me up to fail next time. Because it's not even like, oh, you're gonna play better players because you won. You're gonna play more cheaters who are ranked higher than you because you won. And that's a deflating feeling. And I don't like that. If I move up in rank, I want to play better players because they're better and I'm better. But in Call of Duty, you get better, you play more cheaters. And so now your heart's stuck. It's like, oh, I keep running into cheaters. This is stupid. Versus, like I said, in other games, this doesn't happen. In other games, as you get better, you just play better players. You know, that's it. The way it should be. Yeah, see, so you know Nightwish, and that sucks. That's a crappy feeling, because at first you're happy because you're winning, you're getting better, you're ranking up. Then once you start losing to cheaters, it's very demotivating, because you're just like, man, like, I just want a fair shot at another good player. Like, I just want to prove my skill. But you're dying to a cheater, and then you never really know. And like, it's just a very demotivating feeling. Very demotivating feeling. All right, this will be my last scenario. I'm gonna get off for a little bit. I may go back live after I grab some food, because it is lunchtime. I didn't even realize what time it was. But after this scenario, I might be back on, and we could chat some more about the problems in games, in gaming, I should say. But yeah, you know how it goes. You guys all play FPS games, and we all experience the same problems. But I still aim train because, you know, I play video games and I want to be good. That's why I said, like, despite me playing COD, despite me playing finals or whatever other games, um, I personally choose to practice. Everybody doesn't aim train. Some people are just naturally talented, and good for them. Um, I wouldn't say I'm naturally talented, because I became a mouse player. I didn't grow up playing on mouse. Like, I know there's a lot of FPS players that are young, right? They're like 18, 19, 20 years old. So they grew up in the age of the internet. And a lot of them have only ever played mouse and keyboard. A lot of them will tell you they've never even touched a controller. So they're not, in a way, they're naturally gifted because they've only ever played mouse. Not me. I had to learn mouse and keyboard, so I practice. I'm not young. I'm not 18 or 19. So for me, I have to practice, to stay sharp. But I appreciate y'all stopping by. I did see it, AP. I did see it. Um, but Yeah, night wish is just practice. That's why I aim train. You know, I'm not a prodigy at mouse and keyboard, and I know that. At least I have the self awareness where I understand that, and so that's why I aim train. And I know I'm not, you know, I'm never gonna be like a top mouse aimer, and that's fine. That's not what I'm trying to be. But I want to be good enough for my bracket. Wherever I land in any game, you know what I'm saying? Wherever my rank is, I want to be good for my bracket. I want to give myself the best chance. That's all. I'm not trying to be top of the world. I'm not trying to be number 1 or at anything. I just want to be wherever my ceiling is. I want to be as competitive as I can at my personal ceiling. That's all. But I appreciate y'all stopping. Um, I enjoyed the combos for sure, everybody. So thank you. Yeah, EP, man, and yeah, Lock. I appreciate it. I'll be like I said, I might be back. I'm gonna grab lunch. You know, I gotta feed these kids because you know, imagine being 7 years old, right, and like not feeding yourself. That's crazy. He doesn't even have a car. That's wild to me. Um, I'm gonna eat something. I'm gonna feed these kids. I don't have much going on today. I have a slow day, so I might just get back on, keep aim training, keep chatting. Um, yeah, I'll be back.